Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well and staying healthy. I am Mariano Henestrosa with the 2020 Casa program with Brooklyn Arts Council, working with Independence Neighborhood Senior Center. And today we're going to talk about color. And we're going to talk about color looking at the work of a painter named Henri Matisse. Is a French painter who lived from 1869 to 1954, and who is one of the main creators of a movement called Fauvism, which we could describe basically as a style of painting where color is its key component, and not just color, but like the use of very strong, vibrant colors next to each other. And that's what we're going to be working with today. In fact, he actually said that for him, colors were actually like forces that were playing against each other in the painting. And the landscape of his that we're going to look at today, which is a landscape in Collioure, a region in France, actually shows this very well. Let's look at it for a second. As you can see, the painting is full of color, and it also has a lot of that rhythm that we saw with Van Gogh, where groups of brushstrokes create different rhythms. But here we also have the color, and it almost looks as fire, I would say, of all sorts of colors, like green on the left with a little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue. There's that pink in the middle, in the bottom, that looks a little bit like a path. Blues, oranges, everything. So that's what we're going to play with today. So I have the painting on my screen, and the supplies we're going to be using today are paper, brush, and watercolors. As you can see, my watercolor set is pretty beat, but that's just because it's been well used. So let's go. I'm gonna start with the greens, and you don't have to do it like I do, obviously. You can choose whatever order you would like. And also, I want to remind everyone, like I always say, the image that we were painting is just a starting point. Just like the landscape that Matisse was looking at was his starting point for this painting. So I don't know if you're noticing, but when it comes to watercolor, the more water you add, the more transparent the color becomes, and the lighter it is. So for some, we have dark greens over here and lighter teal pastel tones over here. For those, what I'm going to do is just add a little bit more water, which will make my greens a bit more transparent. And you can see, comparing this to that, so it will look, and that's because the white comes through. And the white of the paper is what you use to lighten your colors when it comes to watercolors. And I'm gonna do this part over here, which is also lighter. There's light and then there's dark. And when that happens, what I'm gonna do is do dark on top of light. So first, I'm doing the light part. Doesn't look like much yet, but we're starting to have like a little bit of a rhythm, like a little song. In this case it's a song with green. And for the next color, I'm gonna do blue, the blue. So I'm following the rhythm that I see. In this case, with blue. And see how we have the dark blue with the light green? That's what I'm going to do right now. It goes all the way up to the corner. And there's a few up here. So I think that is most of the blue. See, now it's all starting to mingle together slowly. Green and blue. There's another blue, a darker one down here. So I'm going to do that one next. And what I've done is I've mixed some of the blue that I had with some dark brown. And hopefully that will do the trick. Yeah, I think so. See, isn't it nice how we have this rhythm coming down here, and now it kind of bounces that way with the black. Well, or the dark blue. This color that I'm going to do is orange, which there's that little corner over there, and there's a little bit up here as well. So, and my orange is a little bit different than the one that Matisse used. It's come out a bit darker, but that's okay. It's just how my painting will be. I'm gonna go with a lighter green. The first one was a little bit, was closer to like a dark teal, but there's other greens that are lighter in the painting, so I'm gonna go with some of those. Alright, so that's my green. Okay, the next color I'm going to try and do is this like pastel sort of beige brown that we have over there, and it starts right where the dark blue. That came out a little bit dark, so what I'm going to do is I clean my brush, and I'm just going to let it absorb the excess water, and see, it will turn it lighter immediately, and that way I can just keep going. When we did that video with Van Gogh, I was talking about rhythm, and it's not only, when you think about it, it's not only like the intervals between each brush stroke that creates the rhythm, but like as you start adding different colors, and especially in this painting, it's like a dance. It's like almost like the steps, the footsteps in a dance for each color, you know? Each color is doing like their little choreography, and then it all comes together into a beautiful, colorful painting. For the pink, I'm taking a little bit of this red, or yeah, and I'm adding water to make it light. And now I'm going to do those little pink steps on the path. Let's see. That seems a little bit strong, so I'll do like what I did before. Just clean the brush and just put it and go over, so the brush will take some of the color away. And now we just keep going on with our dance, with the little dance steps. And up there's some darker ones, so that I'll do with less water and more color. There you go. There's also some down here. And now the other pinkish tone that we have is over here, which is a little bit like a salmon. And by salmon I mean it's a little bit more orange. So I do the same thing. I'll get my color, my orange in this case, and I'll add water to make it light so that the paper comes through. And then I go over with the darker on the darker parts. And the final part, I think, is there's a little bit of like maroons. So I'm gonna go and do those. Let's see how they turn out. Doing the dance. And there's some over here too. And I'm missing a few greens, so we'll do those next. So I'm missing some of those dark greens that we see over there, so I'm going to incorporate those here. See, and the interesting thing, that what I like about this painting is that you have areas, right, where the brush strokes, the marks, are very clear. They're all independent. But then there's areas where it all starts to like come together and create this interesting texture, like a weave almost. But like we saw, or like we've seen, it's a weave that it's actually, it starts to look very complicated, but like it wasn't that complicated to make. We just made marks on top of marks on top of marks. We had some more greens over here, so we'll be doing those next. And here it is. It's not exactly the same as the original, but it's our version. Our own version of like that dance where we have all sorts of different colors, each one doing their own and all coming together like a ballet. Maybe that was a little bit corny, but I think it works as a metaphor for how color works in this painting. And well, I use watercolors, but you can use other materials. If you don't have watercolors, you can use colored pencils, or if you have a different kind of paint, you can use those too. Or if you don't have colored paints, you can do it with pencil, and like it can be by pressing harder and less hard. Instead of using color, make it a symphony of grays. There's many ways to play, and what I did here is just an example. I hope you enjoyed the class today, and I encourage you to look up more paintings by Henri Matisse. He's a great French painter from the 20th century, and he's one of the best colorists there is out there. So be sure to check him out. And as always, everyone, stay healthy, make art, and be well. Take care. See you in the next one.